You guys know I love to travel. It's why I do what I do, so that I have the opportunity to travel. And of course, travel is pretty much shut down throughout the world right now. If you are able to travel, you have to jump through many, many hoops to get there. And I know everyone's just waiting. There's a lot of pent-up demand coming. As soon as this pandemic is over, I'm going to travel here, I'm going to travel there. Wonderful, great. But beware, there's not going to be a switch open and everyone flooding. You're going to see what's called travel bubbles. And this is what is going to be needed to revive the economies. And it's going to happen very, very slowly. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rojo Reads the News. I'm your host, Paul. Today, I want to talk about some travel news. This article comes from China Daily by Prime Sarmento. Travel bubbles eyed to revive economies. Governments in the Asia-Pacific region are exploring the creation of travel bubbles to spur essential business travel and help revive economies hit hard by COVID-19. Starting Monday, people from Singapore and 6 Chinese municipalities and provinces can make essential business or official trips without having to go through the required 14-day quarantine period. So, it's starting. It's starting to open up. No switch. It's going to be a slow trickle. The Singapore-China Fast Lane Agreement, which includes Shanghai, Tianjin, Chongqing, and the provinces of Guangdong, Jiangsu, and Zhejiang, is in line with Singapore's plan to gradually reopen its borders to conduct essential business travel, but with the necessary safeguards in place to ensure public health considerations are addressed. Singapore's Ministry of Foreign Affairs started to work out details with China's related departments on Wednesday. Travelers must undergo testing before departure and obtain a health certificate showing that they have tested negative for the novel coronavirus. They are required to submit an itinerary and are barred from taking public transportation. They also have to undergo a swab test after landing and remain in isolation for 2 days. So, again, the switch isn't going to be up and on. You have to go into a hotel for 2 days. You have to be tested. You cannot take public transportation. So there's an awful lot of restrictions. After they're put in place, these restrictions will slowly decrease. But it's going to be a massive patchwork of regulations and laws going from, regions of certain countries to other countries. Certain passports can go certain areas, and it's going to be changing constantly. Considering how many countries are out there and how many countries do business with each other, this is going to be an enormous mess. An enormous mess. Singapore is the second country in the region to develop such a travel fast track with China. On May 1st, the Republic of Korea and China opened a tightly controlled corridor between selected cities, including Seoul and Shanghai. Travelers are required to be tested and undergo 2 days of quarantine upon arrival. The Samsung vice chairman used this procedure in mid-May to visit the company's factory in Xi'an, Shanxi province. Other Asian Pacific countries are likewise planning to introduce systems that will fast-track business travel procedures without endangering public health. Japan is planning to ease entry restrictions for travelers from Thailand, Vietnam, Australia, and New Zealand. Industry leaders in Australia and New Zealand are lobbying for fast-track travel arrangements which will allow people to move freely between the two nations. The Thai's government is planning to create such travel bubbles through bilateral agreements. Rebecca Fatima Stamaria, Executive Director in the Secretariat of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, said it is important to facilitate business travel as it will kick-start the economy. Stamaria told China Daily that the fast-track travel agreements initiated by China, Singapore, and South Korea are a good start for the Asia-Pacific economies. But developing travel bubbles doesn't happen overnight, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is to ensure safety. She said, recognizing that several protocols need to be established before they are launched. Masato Takamatsu, president of Tourism Resilience Japan, supports the establishment of such travel fast tracks. But he said that one of the challenges of developing is testing and quarantine protocols agreed upon by the countries involved. The COVID-19 outbreak, which has infected over 6.75 million people around the world, has forced countries to close borders and bar international flights. This has had devastating consequences for the travel and tourism industry. The International Air Transport Association expects global airline passenger revenue to fall by $314 billion in 2020. My God, that's a lot. Airlines in the Asian Pacific region are expected to have the biggest revenue drop of $113 billion, with passenger demand seen declining by 50%. I think it's even more than that. I think 50% is low. It's got to be more than that. Eileen Clemente, president and CEO of Rojo Travel Corp., one of Philippines' biggest travel agencies, has seen firsthand the outbreak's harsh impact on the industry. We are greatly affected and are actually starting off the second quarter at a negative, since several of our clients have already requested refunds. Clemente, who has seen many ups and downs in the industry, said that the pandemic's impact is unprecedented because it has forced most countries to close borders. You guys know what I feel about this. The world travel and tourism sector has been rocked in the past in global financial crisis 2008 and the September 11, 2001 terror attacks in the United States. But Rivera said the enforcement of social distancing rules due to COVID-19 has made existing business models of tourism collapse. Tourism hinges on experience and on personal interaction, he said, but this is discouraged as the world continues to grapple with COVID-19. Deutsche Bank said in a report in May that it usually takes 2 to 3 years for passenger numbers to return to pre-crisis levels. The Frankfurt-based investment bank said the coronavirus outbreak will mean long-term changes for business travel and perhaps more caution in bookings. Rivera said that the global tourism will bounce back. But while the industry has always been resilient, those in it will have to rethink their strategies and adapt to the new normal. Not anymore is travel just for the experience. It will have to be important to ensure safety. And due to social distancing, it is inevitable that travel costs will increase in prices of accommodation, transportation, and fees for tour operators. Yeah, this is what I see coming in the next few years. The days of backpacking through Europe or Southeast Asia to find yourself are over. Those days will come back, but it will be many, many years. Right now, they are only talking about quote-unquote essential business travel. You're still going to be in quarantine. You're still going to have a lot of testing. There's still going to be a lot of paperwork and health certificates, the increased costs of accommodations. It's going to be a patchwork of regulations that is going to be such a headache to navigate. It's going to discourage people from traveling internationally. It's very, very sad. Travel bubbles. Comment below. Let me know what you think.